Our next presenters will talk about how to boost your business with Empowered Success business building system.
Actually, you have a dream for your business, and we have the tools to get you there. Empowered Success is a proven system to build a successful doTERRA business. Experts guide you with a step-by-step plan, giving you the freedom to live the life you want. Those simple tools help take your business to the next level and equip you and empower your team.
Over the past 14 years, our next presenters have led thousands of people to create true financial freedom, living the life they were born to lead with doTERRA's game-changing, multi-million-dollar vehicle. As double blue diamonds with over 700 diamonds on their team, they have been instrumental in inspiring, 700. Even 700 elite is a lot, but 700 diamonds. So they are instrumental really in inspiring leaders and rise up around the whole world. As a sought-after global wellness educators and life mentors, they wrote a book on how to create success with doTERRA. As co-authors of Share Success, then adopted by doTERRA worldwide, known now as Empowered Success. They share a vision to lead thousands of leaders in the life-changing natural solutions movement.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage double blue diamond, Natalie and Andy Goddard.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. We are so happy to be in Europe. Woo!
We've been looking forward to this day for a long time.
3 years.
3 years to be exact. Yes, we love you so much. Oh, isn't it great to be together?
So good.
So good. And thank you for that warm introduction. Got a jump start about 5 slides in. So Natalie and I have been to Budapest several times, and we're so grateful that doTERRA finally caught the vision to hold a convention in the best city in Europe.
Woo! Budapest.
So we love Budapest. We love our teams. This is our family. We have 7 amazing children and 1 more bonus son who's been living with us for 3 years, and the 2 dogs. So we thought we'd share a little bit of our journey, a little bit of doTERRA, but mostly of how the system came about. So when we started doTERRA, we were in a very dark place. We had a young, struggling family. I was working about 70 hours a week. We had all of our kids in one little bedroom in a basement apartment. And I remember Natalie was struggling with a lot of depression at the time. And then doTERRA came along and brought a lot of light. Natalie attended a class much like this one, and came home, and she had to have those little brown bottles. She couldn't imagine her life without them. And the light that came into her expanded and filled our whole home. I still remember watching Natalie become empowered herself. She started to spread her wings and started to live her brilliance. And I'm so grateful that she did. As she started sharing doTERRA, her passion grew. And our team grew. And it continued to grow and grow. And we grew as a couple. We became stronger, more self-aware. We had a lot of challenges, but it was really fun. The growth, the connections, the friendships, and celebrating our growth and success was fun. But there are also some hard days. So
I remember one of those difficult days, and it was when we were out on a trip training, and my friend that was watching our children called and said, "Oh, your daughter learned how to ride a bike today."
And I taught her.
And I taught her, And I said, "Oh, no. You do not teach my daughter to ride a bike. I teach my daughter to ride a bike," right? But I missed that moment. And on that day, I thought, am I going to lose these moments or my family because I am off helping other families? It was a hard moment for me.
Yeah. So we continued to be stretched. We had lots of experiences like this.
And it turned out because Andy was home, we got to have lots more children.
Work from home.
And lots more joy. And I started trusting the process that, I didn't have to lose my family in this process, that I could be an incredible mom and an incredible leader. Yeah. I just needed to put an incredible wife and mother first, and then the leader fit in all the cracks, right? And so we began to get in that flow and figure out how to do family life and continue serving because it was filling us up. It was what we were called to do.
But after we hit Presidential Diamond, we were exhausted.
Any of you exhausted out there?
We had made so many mistakes. And we honestly asked ourselves, would our team be willing to fail as many times as we did and pick themselves up and keep going? And so we asked ourselves, is there a better way? What if there were a step-by-step instruction manual for people to learn how to build this business? What if we could convey the principles that the system is built on, that the company is built on? And so we basically paused building our business so that we could focus on building a system. And we decided that we couldn't do it on our own, and so we started collaborating with our top leaders and leaders from across the company. And we realized that we couldn't just give them the how-to manual. We needed to be sure it was based on true principles. Because we knew that the way you build a business in Amsterdam is different from the way we build a business in Texas. And so we know the last thing you want here in Europe is for a bunch of Americans to tell you how to do your business.
Right?
We don't want to do that. We couldn't do that.
But we were detectives watching all of the principles that worked in Asia, in Europe, in the US, in South America, wherever, across the board, and bringing those principles together.
So one of the first tools that we made was our ideal welcome letter for new customers. Just a real simple, welcome to the family, here's the basics, here's what you need to know. The next tool was a simple guide to sharing doTERRA, sharing samples, inviting to learn more. And as the system expanded, sometimes it was really big, and sometimes it was contracted and got a little too small. This is one of the times when it was too big. So we made lots of mistakes in the process, but we learned a lot. And we learned how to deliver the right training at the right time. So our team started to grow. This is a chart of our diamonds about 5 years in. And we really did make it a passion of ours to study success. We realized that success leaves clues. And so that's what we started doing with all of our team diamonds. We would have masterminds and trainings and Zoom calls to figure out, what's working. And there was one day that I was doing several mentoring sessions, and it really felt like a gift to me after all this mentoring that I started to see a pattern. And that pattern was this. In order to achieve different levels in the company, you have to have certain beliefs. And those beliefs build on each other. They come in a certain succession. And these belief levels actually became the framework for the entire system. Now, if I could summarize what we do as wellness advocates into 2 words, they would be this: build belief. That's all we do. We build belief in the product, we build belief in the business, in the company, in people, in their teams. When I watch Natalie in her brilliance, that's what she does in every interaction. She pours belief into people. So as we collaborated with top leaders to build this system, it was such a gift to us to really filter out the principles from the practices. So many people are quick to offer a training on how they did the business. But what's important is to find the principles. And as we have studied the lives of the 7 owners of doTERRA, that's all we see. When you heard Emily's story here on stage this morning, that's all I saw. What are the principles that she has built not just this business, but her life on? And one of those primary principles is integrity. She is committed to doing the right thing and to doing right by people. And most of all of us. The owners, that deserves a round of applause. The owners could have retired a long, long time ago. They made a commitment to each other to do this thing for at least 5 years. And guess how long Emily and Corey and Dave have been at this? 14 plus years now. So grateful for their integrity. So if we could boil down the whole system into 3 steps, it would be these. We use doTERRA's products, we share them with others, and then we teach others to do the same.
It's so simple, and yet this is everything.
First, we go through those 3 steps ourselves, and then we help others do the same. It's not rocket science. And the main thing that we want people to think as they see us sharing doTERRA is, I could do that, right? We want them to see themselves in it. We want to be relatable.
And the great thing about that is each one of you brings your brilliance and who you are to the table. And then you have guides and helps that just show up with the details. So you can focus in on the relationship and on strengthening and connecting versus all the details of signing up for LRP and what to do if you want to change your LRP, right? This is a relationship business, and we want to spend our energy and time building those relationships.
So how many of you have seen pipes before? Does this look familiar? Awesome. If we were to go one step deeper, these are the 5 activities that we do to move our business forward, right? We prepare, we invite, we present, we enroll, and then we support our teams. The P is a focus on ourselves. How do we make ourselves the most brilliant version of ourselves? The I, P, and E is how we interact with our prospects. They could be product prospects or business prospects. And then S involves our team. How do we create a community? How do we create a sense of a movement?
Implementation is yours. Again, we take that simple use, share, teach, right? We break it down into pipes, and then you do it your way. And that is what we see all around the world. The people that are succeeding are the ones that they're being authentic, they're being true, and they're bringing their brilliance forward with these principles and with the tools that support them to do that.
So there's a great business leader and thinker named Clayton Christensen who says when we buy something, we're hiring it to do a job for us. And so our question for you is, what do you hire doTERRA to do for you? Are you hiring it to be a tool for your health? Can we go back a slide? And also, what are you hiring a system to do for you? How many of you would like to work smarter and not harder in your business? That's our goal too. So just like Natalie said, we hire a system to do the things that systems can do so that we can do what we as humans do best, which is connect, serve, love.
I remember feeling, how do I take care of 7 children and all these team members and leaders that I really care about, that I want to care for? The only way I could do it was rely on systems. And that was not natural for me. I wanted to just love every person, customize the message to every person, and bring it that way. But I knew if we were to bless the most people in the best way, I had to rely, and I had to drop all of that, keep it simple, still bring my brilliance, but trust in the system.
So, what we get to do is transfer our vision to our leaders, to our people, to pour belief into them, and to nurture duplication. Help them find ways to help others say, I can do that too. One of our key phrases in our business is to inspire, not to require. How many of you have noticed that in your doTERRA business, you're leading a volunteer army? You can't hire, you can't fire. We're just a bunch of volunteers. So we get to first be the example and be inspired ourselves. And from that space, we can then lead others. So we fill our cups, so we have something to pour from as we inspire others.
This is so much simpler, right? We have so many of you training on how to do this, right? Become, and then they will follow. They will be inspired instead of you having to push, and you can be in flow, and you can be inspiring from who you are and what you are doing.
There's a simple principle that we've learned. It's called the easy, hard, hard, easy principle. And whatever you choose to do now, you'll get the other end of the stick later. So if you choose to take it easy, if you choose the easy life now, if you choose to coast now and put the minimum investment in, it will be hard later. Or the alternative is you can invest big now. You can go all in now. Do the hard things now, and then it will be easier for the duration.
And that means with your leaders, in your training, in your connections, with the choices that you have to make in your life, right? Maybe they are not comfortable choices, but if you will make those hard choices to get the things that are most important now, it will be an easy, great life because you have sacrificed, because you've made that choice.
So how can you simplify your processes? How can you break free any blocks in your organization, in your systems? How can you not be the cog, but instead increase the flow? That was the question we asked in the design of the entire system.
You really get to get out of your own head and come and show up to serve your people. And when it's about service and you're paying attention to those needs, all of the other extras will fall away. That is all that matters. So periodically, if you can, conventions are always the best checkpoints in your business because you have a chance to look around and say, okay, what is no longer serving? What is the call right now? Where do I focus? Where do I put my energy? So that we're doing these shifts and we're really serving our followers and our team and the people that you are meant to lead that haven't even found you yet, right? You've got to be aligned so they can connect to you. The people that are waiting for you, you must drop more of what maybe the outside things that you're doing or who you think you are and become your best self so they can connect to you.
So one question you could ask yourself is, what is my upline currently providing? There's no need to duplicate when it's not necessary, right? Another great question is, what is doTERRA providing? You know, as doTERRA has grown, they've provided such amazing tools for us.
Videos, all of these, you guys get great trainings in Europe that then are available in your language.
Newsletters.
So collaborate.
Podcasts.
The power, collaboration is the new drug, right? When we come together, it's so amazing. And you can tap into those things and then you'll know what you need to focus on, what's remaining, right? That still addresses the needs of your team.
So one of the ways to find out how you can best serve your team is to simply ask. Just ask. What does your team need right now? How can I best support? What are the holes in the team and their growth?
How can I best serve you right now?
Another question you could ask yourself is, who do I want to collaborate with? So many times we try to go it alone, right? We got into this business because we're so independent. But that could also be one of our greatest weaknesses. So if you can choose to collaborate with other members, not even in your team, they could be cross-line, and do webinars together, do events together. There is so much strength in coming together.
You know the power of this in Europe. You have done this so well. So, you know, as we come back and get everything rolling again, go back to that collaboration, the power of it. You're amazing. You have the live, the share, the build guides. Some places have classes. Use those as a tool so you don't have to recreate them. And then I know that we have the business building guide now in 5 languages already. I'm trying to remember what those languages are, like German, Romanian, Hungarian, French and English, and the rest are coming, right? So they're on their way. This business building guide is the essentials to launch and roll forward in your business. This is basically, it's so amazing.
It's the gold
I'm
mine.
in love with the BBG.
It's so powerful.
We call it the BBG, Business Building Guide. And it is a tool that you can use. Again, you can open up the first spread, and there are the first 6 steps to build in doTERRA. It will help you launch a brand new builder. It will help you train your teams, and just keep it to the essentials. So you can use that as a guide and then bring your brilliance, and things will just begin to grow and flourish. We have seen that here in the US. We have seen it. It got translated into Spanish really quickly. We've seen that in South America, in Central America. Our leader in Chile, she went Blue Diamond 3 months after she put the BBG in place because her people were launching builders easier and more readily. So we're super excited that you have this now, and it's coming in all the rest of the languages. It's amazing. Have to talk about this very much. Very good. I think it's so important to remember that you are the perfect leader for your team. No one else can lead your team like you can. And your team is the perfect team for you. That means every one of your leaders, okay? What we have seen in doTERRA time and time again is that every leader is the perfect leader, and they will teach you a lesson. And there is a gift in each one. And when we are ready to receive that gift, we will grow to the next level. So it's important to take care of each other in this process.
So I have a quick story I want to share. There was a farmer who went out and he sowed some seeds. Some fell in fertile soil and some fell among rocks. And he watered the seeds, and the seeds and when the sun came, the seeds that fell in the good soil grew and flourished. The seeds that fell among the rocks withered and died. So, how many of you have felt like you've had builders that have withered and died in hard times? They've come, they started strong, but when times got hard, they were nowhere to be found. We have too. We've been there many times. So, what is it that makes doTERRA stick? How can we get the seed of doTERRA to be planted in deep, fertile soil? How can we make sure that the people absorb everything good that doTERRA has to offer? I believe the key is to first see them as a whole person. So what do I mean by that? Everybody has at least 5 different dimensions. They've got the social, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, and the financial. And so when we see them as a whole package, they have needs in each of these areas. So how can we fertilize the seed of doTERRA in each of these 5 areas? The first step is to understand their needs. We need to get to know them. We need to see the world through their eyes. And that creates a space for us to now build a bridge and help them see how doTERRA is an incredible good seed, that it can bear great fruits in their lives in all of these 5 areas. So, doTERRA is the seed, the soil is the whole person. In this analogy, the rain that we pour into them is love. And Natalie and I have found over and over that love works, but only every time. Love is the solution. And we've heard this message so many times today. It really is amazing what happens to people when someone believes in them, when someone sees them, when someone chooses to accept them and embrace them. And in this analogy, the sun is resistance. You know, how many of you have faced resistance in your life? Right?
Especially in the last 3 years, a
Yes.
lot of resistance.
Totally. So that comes in the form of tragedy, recession, life in general, but universally, love works.
And love can always combat. It's always bigger than the resistance whenever we just keep pouring love in, right? We just get to choose love again and again to combat that resistance that will always be there.
One of the ways that doTERRA is unique from so many other companies is that we are farmers. We are not hunters. We look for people and we look for ways to lift them, to provide solutions for them. And so Natalie and I just wanted to provide a quick worksheet and guide on really practical ways that you can do this. How can you identify people's needs and serve them in those 5 different areas?
So you have this, and you can use this later, but this gives you this as a reference, so you can just relax and take it in, okay?
On the back of the worksheet, there's an area for you to first identify how you're doing for yourself. How well have you nourished doTERRA in those 5 areas for you? And then a space for you to write out the names of your builders and assess how deep the roots are for each of your leaders.
And my experience is you always need to grow those roots and drive them deeper. So wherever you are right now, it's perfect. Surrender and ask questions and mastermind so that you can go deeper, that you can help serve the needs that people have. And whether it's, you know, think about how doTERRA has served you in all of these ways, right? How these little things have been blessings to you, whether it's the continuing education and the personal development that you've received, or the questioning as you've figured out your why and known more of your calling and purpose and stayed on purpose. Maybe physically, your lifestyle overview and your little checkups have changed your world. And financially, doTERRA has changed your world, right? In one way or another, whether it's changed a lot or a little. And just like this event, we get fed socially from it. So find ways that you can increase that in your leaders and in your builders so that they can be more fed by doTERRA. So number 1 on love works is we have to understand them. We have to understand where they come from. And that doesn't come from seeing the world through our eyes. It comes from coming up next to someone and seeing the world through their eyes, getting out of my shoes and getting in their shoes for a moment. Then I can really help them. Then we can move forward. I love what Tatiana has done as far as understanding people, because Tatiana, she follows the principles of doTERRA, but she does it differently. She calls her leaders, she just does a quick check-in every morning on the way driving back from her kids' school. So she checks in with whoever she can and helps them focus in on their strengths and their market. She doesn't try and make them all compete or do the same thing, but she does that check-in every day. And what I found is that it takes a lot less time when we really listen and check in. We can spend a short amount of time on each other when we'll do that in the beginning and know where people are and know about maybe their life. If you take 10 minutes and know about their life and get an update on that, then you don't have to spend most of an hour hearing complaining or something like that, right? Because they feel understood. So listen, show empathy, understand where they are.
So we meet them where they are, which is a phrase we learned from our mentor, Laura Jacobs.
And here's another great example with Matthias and Sabine. They have created challenges by ranks to help people be with others that are running in the same way, that are learning the same things, that are focusing on the same things. And it's been brilliant to support them. We love this image because it helps us remember that in doTERRA, we're not all big kids in doTERRA, right? If we just enroll, maybe we are an infant in doTERRA. And then as we grow to premier, a child, and then when we're silver, maybe we're preteen, we think we know everything, but we don't, maybe. And then we become teenagers and then move into adulthood and maybe more of a mature adult. But what happens when we treat our leaders, our new builder, like they're a teenager and they're just a little child? They don't feel understood and there's frustration, right? So see the world through their eyes and remember where they're at, understanding them. The belief levels will also help you understand their state of mind. This is in the Blue Diamond Guide, the Influence Guide on the Empowered Success US website. And I really love how it helps you remember the state of mind of each rank and place. So sometimes we need these things to help us get in the right mindset to be able to help. As you develop relationships, remember that you've got to keep 5 positives for every 1 negative. There will be hardship. There will be misunderstanding. That is the negative. You make sure that you keep 5 positives for every one of those experiences, that you get out your highlighter and you find the good in them, and you keep noting it, and you keep noting it, and you keep noting it, and you recognize it in front of everyone else, and they will become more and more in that process.
And will we have hurt feelings along the way? Yes, always. And Natalie and I have learned this powerful question, can we start again? And we've asked it over and over with so many of our leaders.
So I want to challenge every one of you in this room, whoever you need to ask this question to, ask it. Ask it today. Can we start again? We've had to ask this question hundreds of times. We've messed up so many times, and we've said, we're sorry. Can we start again? So start again fresh with doTERRA. There's so much more that we can create, whether it's with the leaders that you already have or whether it's with, your family. Can we try this again, whatever it may be.
So the first step is to understand them. The second step is to believe in them. And we have a few stories we want to tell about some of our leaders. But first, the simple belief cycle, right? Whatever we believe to be true affects our actions, and that affects the results that we get. And then we use those results to validate the original belief.
Mm-hmm. So I love how belief breakthrough leads us to rank breakthrough. Everybody, sometimes we focus so much on, I want to get to the next rank, I want to get to the next rank. Well, maybe if we focus more on growing our belief, then the rank naturally happens. And you can trust in that process, right? Now we have the belief levels with the action that is the focus at that belief level. So if you ever want to know why you're getting stopped up or why your people are getting stopped up, come back to this as a diagnostic tool, and it will help you know where to focus and know what to help on.
Another tool to help you believe in your leaders is to make a vision board with their names, but then also list out their strengths. And make this something that you see every day and really focus your energy on what they're brilliant at. The more you focus on that, the more it will grow.
As you have interactions, you're going to have a lot of weaknesses that you see come up, right? So we have to have our strengths and have it be in their face. These are all on the Empowered Success website that you can download, whether it be silver, any rank, right? Here's your diamond. I love how Seth Risenmay builds belief. He shows up at events, and that's what he does, is he tells stories that build belief. And keep going. And that even built the belief in his son. That's why his son just turned platinum, because his son's belief was built. And there's really that one thing that matters in doTERRA. I also love Goddard that you just got to hear from. He will just share with you. He will give you a cup of I don't know how many oils, because he knows the power of those oils, and he will share that with you. But that transfer of belief, that's what he does so well. That's what he's magnified. Rich and Amy Fulmer, they went diamond during the pandemic because they chose to believe. They kept faltering over and over again. They would make it almost there, but then drop down because they started doubting again. So if you will keep believing, it tells the universe, I believe, bring it to me. But the moment that you doubt, you start sending a message that cancels out that belief, right? So just choose to believe. Third is invest in them. And I love the power of investing, because we show it in investing our time, our energy, and our money in the people that we've partnered with. Are we treating our business like $1 million business? Do you think of the investments that you make every day, every month, like you're investing in $1 million business? If you want to multiply your business, you do like Andras and Melody did in having, we're going to take our leaders to this retreat so we can mastermind together. We want them thinking big vision. We want them to step away from everything else so that they can get set up for success. They invested so much in that. They invested in a little office because that's what would help their team during the pandemic. And so that gave them a place to still meet.
We could stand up here and tell you stories all day long.
But these are just other great ideas. Come together with your mastermind. Come together with your leaders. Have a team chat that's creating that kind of investment in them and pouring in them. Emily's going to talk to you more about these Hawaiian founders. And they invested literally by giving a toothpaste for every kit that you enroll that order that night of the class. If you enroll that day, you get the toothpaste. And then they gave gifts with every LRP after that. They made that investment. They didn't wait for doTERRA to do something. They saw a need and they filled it. So whatever that need is for you, whatever you feel like you need to invest in your team, do it. Invest your time, energy, and money.
So the investment is worth it. Risk more than others would. Believe more than others would. And we promise you that love works. We promise you that as you invest,
the harvest cannot be prevented. It doesn't matter what happens here in Europe. It doesn't matter what comes down the road next. If there's a financial recession, if there's the next thing, the harvest cannot be prevented if you will be consistent, bring your love, bring your belief, bring that understanding, and invest in your team, and it will be game over. And there will be an oil in every home in Europe and a healer in every home in Europe, and we look forward to that day. Love you.